why within the Citadel project, as you've heard a few times now, we are working on the co-creation methodology. So co-creation involving citizens, in our case, in the making of public services. Before I continue, or before I really start with my presentation, maybe I would like to ask you, because as you know, we have planned a 2-hour session after this more conceptual introduction. May I ask you to raise your hands if you are able to stay with us for a bit more, a bit longer this afternoon. Could you just show me who's going to stay with us? 30 minutes, 1 hour.
Yeah.
Bit more.
What? Past 9 could be perfect.
Okay. I will first of all rush through this presentation because the next part is actually the fun part. The practical part that comes after the presentation is what makes what is more interactive. So I'm here to answer a few questions for you. So on a conceptual level, why do we co-create in Citadel? What is co-creation? You might wonder, I guess. Why co-creation can be challenging, and then I come back to the project. How do we co-create in Citadel? And in the end, why does this matter? Why is this innovative? So first of all, as Leva has, sorry, I moved a little bit around. As Leva already has mentioned, so co-creation is about, or why do we co-create in Citadel? We want to design and deliver effective, inclusive, and high-quality public services. This is a challenging task, a big task, a broad task, because you have different dimensions to take into account. You want citizens to participate, you want citizens to give their feedback and to understand this feedback, you want citizens to be satisfied, and you also want to keep citizens from leaving your whatever you offer, whether it's a website or other services. And we use co-creation as a concept, as an approach, and as a methodology in order to satisfy some of these aspects. So co-creation is a methodology that works very well in addressing some of these points. So why is this the case? So what is co-creation? So I'm an academic, so from the academic side, let's start with this. Co-creation is a process whereby the role of citizens passes from being a largely passive research subject to active co-designers and content creators. So this means we want to design, develop and deliver public services not only for citizens, but we want to develop them, design them, and deliver them with the citizens. So you see this is a kind of a change in paradigm, I would say. And this is interesting, first of all, for the public administration because it can, if done well, increase the trust in the institution or the organization or the government. And it creates a sense of ownership. So if you participate in creating something and doing something from as early as possible, you also feel, in a way, responsible. You feel connected to it. So in terms of, for example, using a website, you might feel closer to it. You might feel more connected to it. So this is the basic idea of the co-creation in Citadel. We can witness co-creation quite a bit in the private sector, let's say, where companies work together with their customers because it definitely increases access to markets, it reduces risks, and it improves customer loyalty. So we can adopt these insights quite well also to the public service or public domain because in the end, it is very similar. Wisdom of the crowd and open innovation are related concepts. I won't go too much into detail. It's basically about the more people you ask, the more people you involve, and the more opinions and knowledge of different people you integrate, the better the outcomes, very roughly. And the last point is that so modern technologies obviously can help to include citizens and public organizations at a larger scale, which we also work on in Citadel, which is related to co-creation, but I will come back later. Maybe I have to say one thing. When I say citizens, I mean also public organizations. I don't only mean individuals. It could also be a company that, that participates in a co-creation project. So one more thing, what is co-creation? So it's not magic, it sounds quite grand, but in the end it is, it can utilize technology, but it can also be a workshop where you sit together, build something with Lego, or do a brainstorm on a blackboard. So it goes from highly technological things like big data analytics to very down-to-earth things. So why is it challenging, the whole co-creation thing? It is popular, but it is difficult to involve citizens. It is difficult to involve them in the long term, especially. It can be difficult for the organization that wants to facilitate the co-creation. It is a question if citizens actually want to participate, a very substantial question, and also the organization might just not be able to do it, to integrate this approach. And so to come now to what I actually want to talk about is that the CITADEL co-creation methodology addresses some of these challenges so that the organizations, the public organizations, can actually implement this concepts on a practical level to co-create, to design public services together with their citizens. And how do we co-create? How do we do this in CITADEL? So the co-creation methodology for us is, I go broadly through this, quickly through this. So each co-creation project is seen as a holistic process that spans from the very beginning, where you have to find out what you want to do, so the research, to the design, generating ideas, generating also prototypes, and the development, so becoming more concrete, to the production, to the finalization of the project, where you actually deliver something to the user, to the citizen, possibly in this case. And this is the case for a completely new service or a small improvement or modification. And then practical activities and methods move a project through these different phases: the research, the design, the development, the production. And our methodology, or the methodology, links the appropriate methods and tools to each of these phases. And this can be visualized nicely in this way, where you have the different phases. So you start, you gather insights, let's say, and the CITADEL co-creation methodology might tell you if you want to do this, then you should use a KPI, and you should use design principles, and it is explained how these two things work. And most importantly, it is interlinked to other tools. So it goes basically through the whole process of the co-creation project. And this is the idea of the CITADEL methodology, the co-creation methodology, that it leads the practitioner, the user of this methodology, through a full project, through the full process. And this leads me then to the question, why is this innovative? Why does this matter? Because the CITADEL co-creation methodology is three things, in my opinion, or in our opinion. First of all, it's holistic. Second of all, it's process-driven, and third, it's customized. I will go through each of these steps now in detail. It's holistic because, contrary to what's out there at the moment, it's, as I said, it deals with the whole process. It's combines standalone aspects, standalone techniques and methods and activities into one whole, into one structured process. In our research, we have not found something that is doing it to the degree that we intend to do this. Yeah. So the second reason why it is innovative is that it's process-driven. So it is not revolving around one certain tool that we might develop with the money of the Commission. No, we use tools that are out there. There are plenty of tools out there, and combine them in this bigger scheme of the methodology that we that we intend to provide. Important in this regard is also that we are open to include non-ICT tools. So back to what I said before, it can be very down-to-earth activities that are linked in the bigger picture, to the bigger picture. And it's customizable, so first of all it's a public service sector, and second it is customized to the context of our use cases. So what Deva already had talked about, we have 4 use cases, and each of them has a slightly different objective, and we work very closely with them, with Antwerp, Netherlands, Riga and Puglia, to adopt this project, adopt these methods and these activities to their actual needs, to their actual objectives. To come back, this is my last slide. It's holistic, process-driven, customizable, and the most important part of this, in my opinion, is that we would like public organizations to be able to do most of this in-house as an agile project without the need to outsource this knowledge or this activity. So sorry for being so fast and so short breath now, but this was my last slide, and thank you very much. If there's any more questions, please write down my email address, and I would be very more than happy to